We are halfway through September. It is September 15th, and this is your tropical update. Hurricane Sally hasn't moved much since yesterday. That's kind of what we expected. The storm has just been meandering near the coast. The storm is still yet to make landfall. And honestly, the bottom line with Sally is the storm is weakened. The winds aren't going to be terribly strong. It's still 80 miles an hour. But the main threat here is the rain, and honestly, guys, if you live down at the coast, just don't go out unless you absolutely have to. And if you do go out and you happen to come across a roadway where you cannot see the actual road underneath the water, turn around. Do not let your car get swept away. Do not lose your life to a Category 1 hurricane, please. Be smart if you're down at the coast. There's the look at the probability for tropical storm force winds, greater than the 50-50 shot from New Orleans all the way over to Pensacola, Florida, almost all the way to Panama City Beach. And really for the Atlantic, there's a lot going on out there, but most of it can be crossed off. Paulette, for example, it did its thing. It hit Bermuda as a Category 1, and now its only purpose is to distribute heat from the tropics to the poles. You can cross off Vicky. It's just going to spin out over off the coast of Africa, and it's not going to hurt anybody. It's barely going to become a tropical storm. That disturbance there in the Gulf can be crossed off as well. It has a very low chance of development. And that one there on the top right-hand corner of your screen can also be crossed off. It has a very low chance of development, especially as far north as it is. So what that leaves is Sally, which we just discussed, and then Tropical Storm Teddy and that guy down there. Those are the main storms that we really need to pay attention to here. So let's take a look at Tropical Storm Teddy. I briefly touched up on it yesterday, but I really didn't go into it at all. This storm, just like Paulette, could have a major impact on Bermuda in about 6 or 7 days or so. I don't think the storm will be quite as strong as Paulette. Paulette was on a strengthening trend when it struck Bermuda as a high-end Cat 1. I think this storm, it looks like, will be a major hurricane and then will be weakening as it strikes Bermuda. This storm out here in the eastern part of the Atlantic is going to be moving westward. It has a high chance of development. And we need to watch it because there is a possibility if it does make it all the way across the Caribbean and into possibly the Gulf of Mexico, or it could go up the east coast of the United States. As far as the eastern Pacific, same thing. We cross Tropical Storm Karina off because it's heading out to sea. It's not going to affect anyone, and it's just going to dissipate out there. And then in the central Pacific, we can cross off that disturbance out there too because, yes, Hawaii's in the picture, but the storm's right there. It's going to be moving to the west, and it's going to be several hundred miles away from even that southernmost island there. And so that's the end of my coverage for Karina and the other disturbance out there to the southeast of Hawaii. Until we have any other disturbances in the eastern Pacific or central Pacific, I will not be covering those basins, just the Atlantic, in the next few videos. Saturday Night News, episode number 11, will air Saturday night, obviously, around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Your tropical update will be mixed in there, along with a bunch of other news, political stuff, some of it's just other stuff I'd like to tell you guys about. We're not going to do another election prediction, and I know I took last Saturday off, I did a tropical update in the evening, but I didn't do an actual Saturday Night News. We're going to restore that this time, and we're going to hopefully continue that all the way up until the holiday season. Anyways, thanks for watching, especially if you made it this far. Please like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're up to 32. I appreciate the person who subscribed to my channel last night. Let's try to get that count up to 33, 34, maybe even 35. I'd like to get up close to 40 by the end of the month. And head on over to Twitter and Parler if you have accounts there and follow me on each of those. Get you a t-shirt, coffee mug, a pillow, or any other merchandise. You can even get a hoodie now. And the link for all that is in the description below. That is the most important way that you can support my channel, is by buying the merch. Have a good night, and if you are in the path of Hurricane Sally, please take all necessary precautions and be smart and be safe.